May I have your attention? May I please have your attention? Super Sundays. Yeah, baby. We're back at it again. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. I'm glad that you're here. I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. We've been doing these shows for months now, and you guys have been showing up consistently as we take on and we tackle different challenges and different topics. So I appreciate it. But here's what we're trying to do going forward. We want to grow this audience to people who need to hear content like this. And so we need your help. How can you help us? That's a fantastic question. Be sure to make sure you hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell for all of the content that we have, particularly Super Sundays. All right, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure you invite somebody to Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. We're getting ready to go in. We're going to have a good time. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get to the show.
Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. Countdown, levitate, going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate, on time, never late. I grind, celebrate, no pump fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day, champagne Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now I'm stepping up to home. Like straight out the sandlot, now I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that karma steady growing. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. Smell good, skin clear. This here my year. Hey, look up here. This here my tier. Same fit 4 days. I grind 4 ways. I play no games. All me, no blame. On the wave, my own wave. Can't stop my shine. In the lane, my own lane. Can't stop my grind. 40 yard in the V12 and like 1.5. At 19, I clip 19 in a month, no lie. Oh God. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees.
Likes up, everybody. We're getting ready to have a great show. Let's get it.
Young niggas coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Yeah, I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Young niggas coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Yeah. Flip my pie, really did that one.
Who's that gon' tell me I can't do it?
I can't do it.
Better be on time with my bankroll. Talk fat, no ball cat, no lit word. Routine like clockwork, my wrist word.
I flourish the cook, got no roof on it. I'm taunting, I'm all in the moment. Everything lit, I don't miss. Till someone get John on the line, say the invoice is coming. I'm thumbing through stacks of that cold ball. They egging me on, so I'm going off. I got them mad, I show off. They treating my life like it's no law. I never flex above my means. I spit the cream on my tribe, don't I? Don't bone me, don't know me, you not regime. To the one with the condom, my eye is on it. Yeah. I see you move through the base, they precaution, they snaking, they seeing me. Money tree, wake up the royalties. I got a queen, yeah, she go with me. She making me feel like I'm royalty. It's probably cause we royalty. I just got fresh with the golden piece. Shrug, show the emoji, okay. You know it's me, diamond soul dancing, singing like Jodeci. 10 out of 10 every time till they notice me. What you thought I was supposed to be. Ain't nobody close to me. Granted, my hits touch the billboards, and they printing my face on the billboard. They envy my drip, I'm enlightened. You should let go of that hate, but you feel more. I make them rage every time they get flame when they hear what I say, coming straight from the source, yeah. I come a long way from the coast by the shore. My boy, I'm enjoying this. Young kids coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flip my pie, really did that 180. Yeah. I flip my pie, really did that 180.
Who's that gon' tell me I can't do it? I can't do it. Better be on time with my bankroll. Talk fat, no ball, can't
And now, your host, Sir Hill Speaks. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks. We're in the building. If you were in here and you're glad to see us back, just let us know in the comments. It's good to see everybody. It has been entirely too long, so let me apologize to you. Let Sir Hill take this moment, this somber moment in American history, and apologize for the time we've been away with Super Sunday. So we're going to make it up to you guys tonight by having a fantastic show. But before we do this, because it's been so long, I want to show some respect to the good people of the chat. Those of you who have shown up here tonight looking good and smelling good, because you wouldn't have shown up any other way. I want to show you guys some love in the chat. I appreciate everybody. Tips and trips. What's going on with you? It's good to see you. Glad that you're here. The world's greatest embrace the grace. Oh, she is. She's in the building. Lady Anya, what's good with you? It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. What up, boo? What up, girlfriend? How are you, my love? Glad you're here tonight. What's going on with you? Ladies and gentlemen, Lost in Translation podcast is in the building. Salute to you, sir. What's going on? Who else we got up in here? Chaos Rain, what's up? Now listen, we're going to work on this. We're going to work on this. We're going to work on this hell. I don't know what hell this, I don't even sound right. We're going to work on this, Chaos. It's HALE, sir, but it's good to see you, man. Glad that you're here. What's going on with you? Salute Arthur. What's going on with you? Glad that you're here. Lady Navoa is in the building. What's going on with you? It's good to see you. It is good to, yeah, she said 60K. Yeah, the last time we stopped, I think I was at 50K. Since then, we have gone to 60,000 subscribers and we are counting. So salute to that. I appreciate everybody. It's good to see everybody tonight. We're going to have a good show. It's going to be very quick, but I wanted to come here because I think things are changing. And I think in 2024, the conversations we're having, we're going to have to start integrating different elements because there is so much to cover. And so tonight we're going to kind of build upon some of the things you've already seen in the media. We're going to put our spin on it, and we're going to have a good time having a conversation tonight. So I've said enough. Let me give you what you came here for. Ladies and gentlemen, bring it up to the stage. The one and the only Embrace the Grace has shown up all the way from the great New York State. She's in the building with a fresh perspective. Everybody show your love for the one and the only Embrace the Grace. What's going on?
How you doing tonight, sir?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm good. Like I said, I'm still trying to process my New York Knicks losing tonight, but it's all good. This being here is an honor, and that'll make up for the travesty that I'm feeling.
The Knicks did good this year, though.
Better than 20 years. So it's progress.
Absolutely. But I understand your pain. My Bulls didn't do too good, but we'll talk about that at a different time.
Okay.
Shout out to the one of the only. It's me, Jamie, is in the building. I had the privilege of talking with her on Humble Dad's podcast. If you haven't subscribe to Humble Dad's podcast. You guys are missing out. He has a great platform. And so I met her there. Sweet lady. She has a great wisdom. She's a coach. And I think she's going to offer great perspective tonight. So the first time on the platform, everybody show your love to the one of the only. It's me, Jamie. She is in the building.
Hey,
what's going on, Miss Jamie?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. It's going to be an interesting topic. I'm sorry I made a mistake. So,
absolutely.
But how many times, right? So
we're gonna get into it. I might even sing some R&B tonight to make it right. But we'll deal with that later. It's good to hear. Glad to see you here. All right, guys, and you guys know I'm bringing up the one of the only Sir Charles is in the building. Charlie Heights is in the building. Everybody show your love to an honorary and a legendary member. We've got great clips. He done gave us some great content. Everybody show your love for the one of the only. Charlie Heights is in the building.
Good evening, formerly known as Sir Charles God. Charlie Heights. I'm trying to do a little bit of rebranding. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, Sir Hale.
Good evening.
Good evening to the chat. How's everyone? I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Well, everybody's looking good.
Nice to meet you.
What y'all been doing today? Everybody came here looking good. Like what y'all got going on?
I was working all day. I've been working since 7 a.m. and I didn't stop till 7. That's a 12-hour day.
Wow. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay.
Awesome. Right. Yeah.
But I don't look like it though, so that makes me feel good. Thank you. That is a compliment.
Yeah, like you take care of yourself,
right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
How about you, Embrace?
Well, today was self-care Sunday, so gym, nails, toes, eyebrows. It was, get it all ready because my son graduates next Sunday from high school, so we're getting ready for that big milestone.
Congratulations to him. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Sir Charles, how you been, man?
Oh man, I've been blessed, man. Just making moves. I've been traveling a little bit, and had lunch with the family today, and I just feel good, man. Had a great Sunday. Getting ready for the week. So, what about yourself, Sir Hale? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, yeah, man. Been taking care of a lot. Started my coaching business, working on my second book. Been going to personal training every morning. I mean, life has been moving, so just blessed and happy to be here.
That's beautiful.
Yep. So, all right, y'all, let's get to it. We're going to have a great show tonight. I got a couple questions I want to ask y'all. So I'm going to know if you're lying to me. So I'm going to be looking at you. I'm going to call you out. I want to ask you guys the first question, and I'm going to start with Embrace the Grace. So in a relationship, marriage, what are your absolute deal breakers?
My absolute deal breakers. Lying. Okay. I like loyalty, but integrity matters more to me. So loyalty, parentheses, integrity. You have to have that. If you're not loyal, then that's a deal breaker. If you're not honest, and communication, but effective communication. If you can't do those three, then I don't think we're doomed from the beginning.
So let me qualify something, because it has been said that relationships won't last if somebody ain't lying about something, whether this is small things or big things. So when you say you don't like anybody who lies, do you mean at all, or are there?
Well, the thing is, if you allow a safe place for a person to be themselves and be able to say what they want to say without being judged or felt some type of way, then there's no room for lying, because you're allowing that person to be themselves. So if I come to you and say, do I look fat in it? You should be able to say, no, baby, I don't think that's for you tonight. And I should be okay with that. But you see, we don't make safe spaces enough for each other. So that's why we lie. Because we want to avoid confusion, we want to maintain peace and spare people's feelings. But if we allow ourselves to have a safe place and be ourselves, then there's no room for lying.
You know what? I'm kind of upset because I was going to mess that all up, but you gave such a good response. I'm offended, but we'll
not yet. It's so only the first round.
So what about you, Jamie? What are your absolute deal breakers in a marriage or relationship?
Actually, it's lying. Like my deal breaker is lying. And that's in any relationship. That's in friendships, relationships. Like if you can look me in the eyes and lie to me both ways, I can't trust you at all, and I don't want to trust you. Like I don't want to be around you anymore. And so I don't think I have any other, like, really, because see, I do believe in grace and I do believe people can change. But when you are a liar, it's the deceit behind the lie. Like, you know exactly what you're doing. I remember before I got saved, I lied so good I scared myself. Like, you ever know, like, you were like, that was actually good. You ever lie real good and you have to be like, pat yourself on the back, like, where'd that come from? And so because I was able to deceive like that, I don't necessarily want to do, I don't want that. I don't want that in my life because it wasn't healthy for what I was doing to other people. I know that I have reaped my consequences, trust and believe me. But I don't want to receive that anymore. Does that make sense? I don't want to, I don't think it's healthy. It's not a healthy thing. So lying is my answer.
So listen, I've heard of some things, Jamie, and I'm glad you're on the show tonight. I've heard some serious things in life. I've never heard somebody lie so good that they scare themselves. I want you to take me on a journey as to when that occurred to you. What was the situation where you lied so good and you scared yourself?
Really, you gonna make me tell the story? I was about I would say 18, and I actually had a double life at that time. So in my household with my mother, you know, I was a saint. And then outside of the household, I was not a saint. And so I was coming home late and I had to think of like a really good reason why I was this late. I was really late. Not only was I late, I got stopped twice by 2 police officers because I was speeding.
Hey,
Right.
hold on one second, guys. I want to help you. Hang on one second, guys. Let me talk to my audience. Guys, tonight I want you to know that this is a safe space. And as Jamie is speaking, I can tell that she's wrestling with letting the audience know that she was a gangster. But I want you guys to make it comfortable for her to tell the truth tonight. I want her to be delivered. Jamie, I want you to repeat what you said, and I want you to know that this is a safe space and we're here for you. Tell us a little bit more about your double life. Yo, so she's not a gangster, y'all. I'm just putting her on the spot.
No, I really, you know, you might be right.
Lord.
You might be right. That's why that's funny. Like, you might be right. So anyway,
Wow.
I had to come up with a story and it was on the fly because my mom, you know, she knows when you're lying because my dad was a liar. And so, you know, I had lied so good that night. She believed me. She literally believed me. And she probably listening to this now. And at this point, as her listening to this now, she knows that I lied to her that night. But it was a beautiful story to the point where I sat down on the bed and I was like, God, that was really good. Like, I do not know where that came from. And it scared me a little bit. That's when I knew I needed to change. That's like probably like the first time where I was like, I'm playing with the Lord and I'm playing out here in these streets. And that's my story. You said I was a gangster. I was raised by a gangster though.
Listen, I know things I shouldn't know. All right, well, listen, thank you for sharing it. I really appreciate it. It's an interesting story, and I think it speaks to the fact that it's important for us to talk because you never know what people have come from and what they've been through. So I really appreciate you sharing that. It's interesting. I was just joking, like I was just because but I appreciate you opening up and sharing that. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. You'd be surprised. My dad, you would be surprised. My life is a little interesting.
Okay, we're gonna get into it.
We'll find out as we go.
Yep. So, Sir Charles, you've been waiting. So, what about you in relationships and marriage? What are your absolute deal breakers?
You know, I think we all hate a liar to some degree, but marriage wouldn't work without a good lie. Somebody has to lie somewhere. You know, here's the thing. It's been in. Well, let me get my answer first. My answer is lack of appreciation and reciprocity. Because I don't really care if you lie so much. If you don't appreciate my efforts and you don't reciprocate, meaning that, you know, we're trying to really make this thing work, is really this thing is really a partnership, not just one sided, me doing all the giving, you doing all the taking. Hey, we can work this thing out. But I just want to address the lie situation real quick. You know, I know we've all been in a situation where the truth was stranger than fiction, right? You know that if you told the truth, which is probably innocent, there's going to be some discussion, right? So you may as well lie to try to just avoid having the extra discussion. I'm saying, so that's my point about having, sometimes having a happy marriage might require a few white lies, if you will, not black lies. Black lies is is something different. But anyhow, my deal breaker is lack of reciprocity and a lack of appreciation, for sure.
Okay, I want to get the ladies' response because Jamie looks like she's concerned. Jamie, do you have some thoughts about that?
Yeah, because like, what is the reciprocity and reciprocation that you're like asking for is a lie. Like, what if she's finessing you? Like, is that okay still?
Well, I mean, so my love language is acts of service, first of all. So I'm paying attention to what you do. You know, at the end of the day, okay, for example, someone can tell you that they love you every day, right? But if they don't show it in action, they're lying, right? I mean, so I'm basing it on what I see. Are you a good wife? Are you a good mother? Are you a good business partner? Are you playing hot potato with the money? Are you, is your time really unaccounted? I mean, how much of your time is unaccounted for? I don't need to know where you are every minute of the day. I'm not that controlling. But so what I'm saying is that I try not to think too deep into it because I know I found myself in situations to whereas if I tell the truth, it's innocent, it's probably going to add more discussion. So I wouldn't require that of my wife. If she's a good wife, a good mother, we're great business partners, I might turn a blind eye to, I don't need to know every detail. That's just me personally, though.
Jamie and Brace, you have thoughts on what Sir Charles just said?
I agree with him, and it's important, especially to a man, to show appreciation because appreciation and respect does equal love to a man. I mean, men and women love differently, and we have to understand his love languages is acts of service. So if you know that about him, then do that for him. But a lot of us are selfish, self-entitled, and don't want to give. We just want to take. So I absolutely loved his answers because I feel the same way. It has to be a give and take, because when one does too much, then the other becomes resentful, then becomes angry, bitter, and then that's when the hate sets in. So it matters what he said. I agree.
Okay. So let me reverse the question. So where did you get your deal breakers from? So typically either somebody has dealt with something or have seen something and they have developed it vicariously, right? So if somebody says cheating is a deal breaker, either they cheated, somebody's cheated on them, or they've seen it. So I'll ask that question. So Embrace, where did you get your deal breakers from?
My deal breakers is communication. Effective communication is important, and a lot of relationships that I've been have broken down because of lack of communication. And it's not only lack of communication. A lot of people don't know how to communicate nowadays. We are socially awkward. It's all about texting or social media. We can't just sit face to face anymore like the old days. So the deal breaker with me, if I can't feel comfortable communicating with you and being myself and vice versa, it's going to break the deal, because I got to feel comfortable to speak and not walk around eggshells. Now, how I speak is just as important. The delivery.
What about you, Jamie? Where did your deal breakers come from?
My deal breaker came from me being a liar. And so like,
Okay.
It is what it is. I don't like what I dished out. I don't want it. That's why I don't do it no more. And that's it.
Hey, I like that. Everybody salute Jamie on that. That was one of the most realest answers I've heard before. I did it. I didn't like that, and so I don't want it. Much respect to you for that. Sir Charles, what about you?
Life experience. I've been in relationships where I felt unappreciated, and my efforts were not reciprocated, if you will. So, I just don't like how it feels when I'm doing all the giving and a person is doing all the taking. And it's kind of like making me feel like a fan to a superstar or something. You know what I mean? And not that this person is a helpmate. This person is a dependent now because they're doing all the taking. So no, I life experience. I've been there, and I won't go back. I won't go back to that. I don't like how it feels.
Excellent. All right, guys. Guys, we're just getting warmed up. We're getting ready to go to the next topic. If you guys are just tuned in, hit the like button on every platform. So whatever platform is streaming, wherever you are, hit the like button, share it out, and invite somebody to join the conversation. All right, guys. The next question is: all relationships have conflict, but what's too much? I want to start with Sir Charles. All relationships have conflict, but what's too much?
Oh, for sure. When folks start swinging, when folks start swinging, man, hey, words, we can exchange words all day long. And, how they say all is fair in love and war, but, when you're hurling words at each other, you may be able to get over that, maybe. And I know somebody can offer some pushback to that, but I'm saying, once you start swinging and bringing weapons out, man, it's time to separate. It's too much. Everybody wants to win an argument, so sometimes people say things that and they may or may not feel that thing may not feel as truthful or what have you. But in arguments, people try to win. You want to say the most hurtful things sometimes. I need to get this W. But yeah, when folks start dishing out lefts and rights, open hand smacks, that's way too much. It's time to separate at that point. I actually been in that situation too. But anyhow, yeah. So, and that's important because, man, I forget the woman. I'm sorry. You called her Roxy earlier.
Embrace.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
It's okay.
Yeah, when we were talking earlier about, dang, I got so caught up in trying to remember your name. Now I lost my thought, but it would come back to me and I'll address it. Man, I gotta I ain't done Super Sunday in a while. I normally keep my notepad here. So
man, look, I ain't got my soundboard. I'm right along with you. I feel the same way.
Go ahead. But yeah, that's when folks start swinging, it's time to bounce at that point. That's too much.
Charles, I want to build on what you said. I'm going to get the ladies in, but I'm going to swing back around to address one of the points you made. Jamie, what about you? All relationships have conflict, but what's too much?
I have to agree with. Yeah, I don't see your name up there either, and so I'm sorry,
Sir Charles.
Sir Charles.
Oh.
When people start swinging, and that's my only answer. I'm not going. Thank you, because and I'm not going to add too much to that, okay, let me back up. It's the verbal, like the things that you say that get underneath the skin that leads to the swing. You get what I'm saying? Like, it'd be that one thing that you should not have said, but you say it anyways, and you kind of prepare yourself for the possibility of the reaction, right? And sometimes it leads to violence. So exactly what to say when you're with somebody to trigger them to be violent. So I would say both, but really it's that mouth that needs to be quiet. In Jesus' name, it's the mouth.
Did you say in Jesus' name?
In Jesus' name, yes.
We're gonna craft this stream. Embrace. What about you?
When it gets toxic, verbally, mentally, you start being intentional. Like you intentionally want to hurt that person, or you've lost respect for them. And also, it's too much when you start withholding the loving. You're going too far now. You could be going through anything, but there comes a time where you still have to have service and duty to your spouse. So when it gets too toxic. Okay,
we'll build on that. Sir Charles, you got something?
Yeah, all right. I remember my thought. That's when Embrace was talking about the importance of communication, and I find, I'm sure we've all been there, that people with poor communication skills tend to be more physical, right? Because they can't express themselves, and it's like, I can't out argue you, so I'll just choke you out or give you an open hand smack in the mouth or something like that, right? Because I can't spar with you verbally. And so that's why communication is very important. Hopefully, these things are ironed out in the dating phase where you know that this person is a great communicator or not, because, hey, people who can't communicate, they're the ones that start swinging. they start, for sure.
So let me ask a question to build on that, because communication is a buzzword of today. Like communication, what exactly does that mean? Like what is that? What does it mean? What does it look like? Can somebody give me an example?
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I want an example because I think it's different for everybody. So,
okay, so actually, in my profession, they actually train us on communication. So, communication isn't just words; communication is me expressing myself. Verbally, the person actually receiving the words and then confirming that the words that I spoke, they received them the way that I intended for them to receive them. So it's actually a 3-part thing. It's not just me saying, hey, blah, 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 and then that's it. You know, it's actually me saying it and saying it in a way that you understand it, and then me confirming that you understand it the way I intended for you to understand it. That's communication.
Everybody chatted up and it clapped. Yeah, clap it up. That was a good one. That was good. That was dope. That was a really good breakdown. Anybody want to add to what Charlie Height said?
I just want to clarify. So I want to make sure, because I kind of broke it down just via words. So it's express, receive, understand.
Correct. It's a 3-part thing. So I so like I say to you, so like, and what I do, you can't make any mistakes, right? So as far as verbally, so if I say to you, hey, and then if I say, hey, you, and then you say, okay, I heard you, you said, hey, you, and then I say, correct, right? That is what I said. So it's like, it's a 3-part thing, because if I, the message could be lost in the way I said it. Not the words I said, but the way I said it, and then you didn't receive it the way I intended for you to receive. Now we're not communicating. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I got you. Okay.
That was absolutely superb. So the reason why I wanted to break that down is because we live in a generation where people really believe communication is just talking back and forth. That's not communication. That's just exchanging words. Like the breakdown word of communication, the literal root of communication is to commune. When you break down what commune means that I'm not up here looking down at you, talking down at you. And it also means I'm not looking up to you. It means that we are seeing eye to eye. So whenever we're communicating, the aim has to be that we're positioning ourselves to be in a place of understanding. We are seeing eye to eye. So I love the way you broke that down. Did anybody want to add on to this?
No, I know. I just think it's great. I understand what he's saying. I just use different words. He likes to say what he wants to say, then make sure that he recaps so that person interprets and receives the message correctly. And if you go through those 3 steps, there's no miscommunication. There's no, well, I didn't know that that's what you meant. And that's effective communication. And there shouldn't go back to it. We've already talked about it. We resolved it. We move on, and people have to get in a good habit of not bringing up old stuff, especially if it's already been resolved. Let it go. Let it go.
I'm going to challenge you, Brace.
Okay.
Because you ever think about when you go to the doctor, let's say you were sick one time or you had a surgery. If you go back again, they're going to ask you, did you go through this surgery? They have to revisit it, because each thing that's significant impacts what goes forward, right? So I think there are certain situations where it's resolved in the moment, but it's resolved in the moment based on our limited understanding within that moment. When something else happens, it might be connected to something that was resolved at that moment, but we're not done with. Think about therapy. How many of us went through therapy and stuff that we thought was resolved, we had to readdress it, see it in a different way, and we didn't realize how childhood traumas affect us now, right? I say this to say, in most relationships, when we talk about something, the hurting person keeps it quiet because they don't want to come off as weak. The other person who may have caused the offense is like, I resolved it. And so when the person who has been quiet finally opens up and says something that this hurt me, the person who was the offender says, we talked about this, it's resolved. Why are we bringing this back up again? Because a lot of times we move toward resolution before we've even processed what's going on. And you can't correct what you don't process. and it's not a true resolution if it hasn't been processed and addressed. So you feel what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, and I agree with you. But a lot of us have a habit of, let's say, me and Sir Charles are talking about one thing, and now I've deterred and deflected and brought up something that was 2 months ago that he has no idea that bothered me. But now I want to bring it in to deflect because the light is shining on me. And we have a bad habit of doing that. And now we got two open windows. We got the past that I've just brought up, and now we got Sir Charles' issue that he brought up, and nothing gets resolved. So that's what I was really more referring to.
I feel you on that. I feel you.
We do that, and I hate to say it to my ladies, we are the most guilty of that, because we'll say we're okay. When our guys say, "Are you okay? You good?" We'll be like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But when we're really not, we can simply say, "Look, I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but I'll come back. I'll circle back to you." But we won't do that. We'll just catch an attitude, won't talk about it, and then bring it up in the heat of the moment when now something we did wrong. Now we want to deflect and flip the script, and that is toxic to me.
Everybody, I want that to breathe for a minute. Embrace the Grace has raised a point that I think is humongous. How many guys have talked with you? Sir Charles, let's talk for a minute. Ladies, y'all just listen in for a second. Sir Charles, have you ever talked to your lady and you brought up something and you thought about it, you came with the right approach, the right temperature, you said it just right, and you had it in your mind that the conversation was going to go one way. You stated your facts, you showed empathy and understanding, and she pulls out something that is old when you're trying to bring up an issue, and then it just derails the conversation.
That's a fact. I've been there. I've been there many times.
I'm going to ask 2 questions. One for you, Sir Charles. How do you deal with that? And then Jamie and Embrace, in front of America, I want you to speak on behalf of all women of all creeds and colors. Why do women do that? So let's start with Sir Charles.
I don't do that.
How do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, you could see it. You could see it. You have to recognize it when it's happening, right? And then I think, whenever I'm having a disagreement with my significant other, what I try to do is try to make sure that she understands that I am coming from a loving, protective place. I'm really not trying to hurt her, right? We're really just having a discussion, trying to get an understanding, and I don't want to derail the conversation. And so, because sometimes you gotta understand too, and I may get a little flack for this, but maybe, I don't know. But a lot of women, they feel a little intimidated by their guy. We're a lot of times we're bigger, we're stronger, our voices are deep. My daughter used to always tell me that Dad, sometimes it's not what you say, is your voice is so deep it just sounds threatening, right? And so a lot of times when we come off as intimidating, our women tend to want to defend themselves in all the wrong ways, right? It's like, and it's like they want to put themselves, I want to make sure I'm on your level and you're not going to, because of something that they feel on the inside. And so what I try to do is I try to like calm that down. Listen, and it's, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like you do with your daughter, like you get on that level, like, listen, I'm really not trying to like overpower you or whatever, but these are my thoughts, and let's not bring up old stuff because I see you're trying. That's a verbal swing, right? It's a verbal swing, we're not solving the issue. So really, just calming the situation down, letting them know I'm coming from a loving space, and just maintaining that tone of love and protection. And we're just having a discussion, and we don't need to bring up stuff that's going to keep fueling an argument.
Excellent. Ladies, why do ladies do that? Y'all talk to us. You talk to America. Why do women do that? When a man is bringing up a good point about something that's going on, she pulls out like a joker and slams it on the table, and then it trumps the conversation. Why does this happen?
I'm gonna let Embrace the Grace answer that question. I don't do that, so I can't answer for something that I don't do.
Okay. Absolutely. One, accountability. Accountability is like kryptonite to women. So when our man is coming to us and want to address something, we don't want to take accountability. So what do? We deflect and redirect. And we avoid it because now we have the spotlight on us and we want to not have the spotlight on us. And that's what we do. And I've done it. I don't do it anymore because I did the work, I did the healing and the therapy, and I realized that was toxic. It wasn't going anywhere. It hurts the other person's feelings because they're coming to you so innocently to try to have a conversation, and here you go, you blow up about something else. So I think women do it more to deflect and take accountability off of their hands.
And with that, everybody hit the like button. This conversation is heating up. I was such a great response, Embrace. What I'm doing, guys, is we're asking questions and we're trying to get to the root of why things happen. Whether y'all notice or not, this happens more frequently than I think we want to admit. And not just in romantic relationships. It could be, it depends on the dynamics. It happens a lot. And I think it stems from some type of fear. Embrace, you said you had to do the healing and the work and get therapy. I don't know. It's like a defensive mechanism for some reason. Like you're protecting yourself in a conversation, but it's protecting yourself from what? Earlier you said, which I loved and I agree, we need to create a safe space. So in relationships, are we not facilitating safe spaces so that we are comfortable when we're wrong? What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I grew up kind of different. Like it's kind of weird having these conversations because my dad was always very blunt with how he felt. And so being raised around that, if I do something, like I may have said, like I lied to my mom because I didn't want to get in trouble, right? But if I was in a bad mood, you gonna know. Right. I'm like, I need 10 minutes because I don't want to talk to you today. I'm going to tell you. Like if I need 30 minutes, like it was just I just kind of grew up where we were able to voice that. Right. And even if it was like not fully respected, it was understood. Does that make sense? So it's kind of weird having conversations. Like I've argued with people before who have tried to deflect, and I'm always the person like, no, we're going to stay on this subject. Like I didn't bring that up. That subject is not important. We're talking about what happened today. You get what I'm saying? So like it's just different for me in these situations. I think people forget fear. People operate out of fear, and that's fine, but it doesn't work. You have to be comfortable with how you feel, own it, and you can't expect somebody to have a reaction or respond to you the way that you want them to. And that's just really what it is. People's fear is, I'm not going to be received this way or this certain way anymore. And you have to care less. My dad could care less. He was a nice man when he needed to be. He was the meanest, nicest person I ever met. I'll put it that way. He was the meanest, nicest person I ever met. He kept it really real, but he would do anything for you. And that was just it.
Excellent. Anybody want to add to this?
I just want to say that kind of behavior starts at an early age. I raised my son where I gave him permission to voice and express himself with absolutely anything, but just keep it respectful. And now at 18 years old, this young man will bring up difficult topics or discussions without feeling uncomfortable. He would come to me and ask me the most outrageous questions, but why? Because I allowed him to feel comfortable. And I think that really should start at an early age, because it's really hard to learn that as you get older because we're so set in our ways. But when you groom them at an early age to be able to, as a little kid, I would when he would cry, I would go down to his level and I said, okay, why are you crying? Are you bleeding? Are you dying? And he would say, no, mommy. And then I would say, I would make it, why are you crying? Express yourself. Tell me the why. You're not just going to sit there and cry for no reason. And it starts at an early age.
He said, are you dying?
Because sometimes they overdo it and they're crying. The neighbors down the street can hear them because the little car is underneath the bed and you can't reach it. So you try to teach them at an early age to level out. Now, if your knee is bleeding and you scraped yourself, then okay, go ahead, cry while mom. But I really think that should start at an early age. And unfortunately, nowadays, we're not raised that way. Everything is through texts, social media. I remember as a kid, Monday through Thursday at 6:30, dinner at the dinner table, and Sundays with families. That's important, where you learn to express yourself. How was your day? I had a problem, but we just don't do that. And when we realize that we don't have good communication skills, sometimes it's too late.
Excellent point.
Yeah. Great point.
Excellent point. Everybody, if you're just joining in, hit the like button. We've got another question I'm going to move to. Let's get personal. Have you ever been the problem in your relationship? Let's start with Sir Charles. Have you ever been the problem? And if so, how did you know you were the problem?
Dang. Man, hey, I just recently, came to terms with that. Yeah. I know I was probably the problem in my last relationship. But you know what? There were so many variables. Okay. All right.
Oh, here we go with the deflection.
No.
I'm kidding.
You were doing so good.
Look, I didn't realize how important sexual compatibility was. Okay. So I tried to overlook a lot of things because this woman was amazing, and but we just weren't compatible there. And so I was thinking, like, man, I'm probably just like superficial for if I think that I should pass on this woman. This woman's amazing, right? And then, but I cheated. I was a cheater.
Okay, so you the problem.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah, but the root of the problem was that you got with somebody that you weren't sexual compatible with. So as a result, it was a symptom.
But
Well, no,
but I'm
did
still.
Did he express that to her though, or did he just go and cheat? Because if he didn't express that to
Come on,
her,
guys. You gotta let him finish.
I mean, I'm saying I'm taking responsibility for my actions. But yeah, I'm saying word to see, and that's why, unfortunately, we are in an over-sexualized society to whereas, if we all were virgins by the time we got married, then we wouldn't know what we like. It's just this is what it is, and perhaps, I don't know, people could make the argument that sex ain't supposed to be used for recreation, or what you call it, pleasure and recreation, or what have you. But what?
I got a question before you go.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell her that she was dissatisfied?
Who?
Did you tell the woman before you cheated? Did you tell the person you were with that you were not happy with the sex? Did you give her the opportunity to be better?
Hell no. No, hey, let me tell you something. Hell ain't a bad word, is it? Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, one of the worst things you could do is tell a woman that her cookie ain't cutting it. You know what I mean?
Was it cookie as a whole, or was it just like it was something she couldn't fix?
It was a lot, man.
I'm just trying to understand. Like, I'm just, like.
No. I guess what I'm saying is that bottom line is that it was a problem from the jump, and I tried to ignore it. I really tried to ignore it, and I contracted certain activities out.
It's an epic hour of outrageous excuses.
So yeah, I was the problem. I'm admitting. I was the problem, and it is what it is. But I'll never make that mistake again, because the cookie got to be on point.
But I hear a lot of good stuff that came out of that. Everything that I heard the fact that there wasn't a safe space created for you, so that's why you didn't talk to her about it. I heard that you took accountability and said that you went and cheated. And I also heard that you realize now that sexual compatibility is important to you in a relationship. So now moving forward in your next relationship, you're going to make sure that you don't ignore that red flag and you address it. So to me, when I do life coaching, I always try to bring out the positive in somebody's negatives. So
I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Sir Charles was a whoremonger. And
Yeah,
we have to allow it to be what it is. We have to allow it to be what it is. We have to allow this.
But
Sir
see,
Charles,
I don't know him, so I'm going on a clean
I'm
slate
giving him a
with
hard
him.
time. This is like my brother. I'm giving him a hard time.
We gotta listen to him a little bit more. He was saying it without saying it.
Yeah, so listen, Sir Charles, real talk, man. Thanks for opening up and sharing that. A lot of people don't do work. Like, when somebody has grown is when they can talk about it. They can be open and honest about that. So, like, real talk, thank you for sharing that. It's a lot of people who don't know how to change why relationships end up the same way because they don't learn from stuff. So thank you for opening up and sharing that. I truly appreciate you, and I'm glad that you are reformed. Well, we'll talk about that later. But I'm glad where you are. Yeah. So it's me, Jamie. What about you? Have you ever been the problem in your relationship?
Yes, I've been the problem. I don't like letting people in my bubble, and so I would let people only so far, and then I would play with their mind, and then I would leave. That's just the truth. And so,
Jamie, you're a little bit low. I'm not sure if it's just me. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
You get okay. So I gotta talk in here. You can hear me better like this, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I was basically emotionally detached for a long time. And I was actually taught that. I told you, like, my dad was a different type of dad. And so he did not teach me, he taught me how to be emotionally attached, how to function like that in relationships. I told you my life was a little different. So I don't know how much I want to tell y'all, but I'm just going to say that that's what I've done, and that's what I identified as a problem, and I don't do that anymore.
But that's the question I want to ask you. So how did you identify that it was a problem?
When a man tells you that you are emotionally attached, and
okay, that'll do it, definitely.
Yeah. When several tell you that.
Yeah. Something about what you said is I don't think people do that. So I'm not sure at which relationship you heard it, but a lot of people felt it's like they think everybody's lying. You know what I mean? They kind of reject, even if it's a pattern, they reject it. And so they never grow. And then they ultimately try to find somebody who just accepts that and they never have to grow or change. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, no, it was a problem for sure.
Excellent. What about you, Embrace? I know the answer to yours is no, but can you try to make up something? Have you ever been the problem?
No, when I was younger, I had a mouth on me. I was sassy. I could be never in public, but I was disrespectful, and I had a habit of saying things that would hit below the belt. And that's it's a big Scorpio trait, but you can't use that as an excuse. You cannot display sign language when you're trying to communicate with a loved one. And if nobody knows what sign language is, we have a big habit of shaming, insulting, making them feel guilty, and then the need to be right. So I was sassy with my mouth. I was rude. I was mean and disrespectful when I was younger.
So when did it change, and what sparked you to say, I got to change this?
When I saw the hurt in people's faces, when I was acting that way, when it made me feel, when it made me realize, be like, damn, great, maybe you shouldn't have said that. When you see it and you see the hurt on the other person's, and when they tell you, when they say, that was really effed up of you to say, you could have said it in a different manner. So I really had to learn and mindfully, I don't pop off the mouth anymore. I think before I speak. I'll even count to 10 backwards. If you ask me a question, I won't answer right away. I choose my words wisely now. And that all comes again from growing and healing and recognizing your faults and actually addressing them and applying exercises that a therapist shows you on how to apply that.
You went to therapy?
Yes, I went to therapy.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question, Sir Charles, and then ladies. Sir Charles, from your perspective, can a woman's mouth be so reckless that it's worth divorcing or breaking up with her for?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Hey, well, the thing about it is, it's about not necessarily, it could be about what's said. It's also when it's said, how it's said, who's around. I know some very cantankerous women who don't care who's around. I was just in the airport. This woman was on the phone arguing with somebody. Dude, just cursing and walking through the airport, cursing and snapping on the phone. I mean, I can only imagine if she was ever married that her husband wouldn't put up with that. Hey, man. Yeah, but we all need to be mindful of our speech at any time. You know what I'm saying? Because even me as a man, if I'm just popping off, at my wife's Christmas, her job's Christmas party, you know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever. We all have to practice some type of decorum, or that relationship ain't gonna last. It's not gonna last. So a woman's mouth could be so reckless it could warrant dissolution of the relationship for sure.
Now, ladies, I want to reverse this question. Have you ever been in a relationship where you're with a man and his words were reckless to the degree where either you lost attraction or you broke the relationship up?
Yes, I would say yes. As the night has gone by, you made me think of another deal breaker, and yelling is a deal breaker to me because I shut down. When you start yelling, because I grew up with a New York Sicilian dad, and that's how he knew how to speak, is how yell. I mean, to you it may be yelling, but maybe to us is not. So yes, coming reckless out the mouth without even thinking and jumping into conclusions and saying the worst things possible, and then coming back and say, I'm sorry, but you do it again. The best apology is change behavior. So absolutely, there has been times where I have walked away from a friendship, a relationship, a family member because of their recklessness in their mouth. You don't think before you speak, and then words hurt. And words are, I think, sometimes worse than physical because bruises heal. Words are mentally always going over and over and over on your head, and that takes more work to unpack than physical. So absolutely, Sir Hale, I have walked away from relationships due to a man's recklessness and his disrespectfulness.
I got a couple questions, one for each of the ladies, if you don't mind, Sir Hale. Jamie, you mentioned being emotionally detached as you being the problem in your relationship. I too have been accused of such. I just want to know what was there something significant in your life that sparked that emotional detachment, or like a significant traumatic experience or something? Or
Yes. So like something transpired when I was like 9 months old, and so 9 months and then 2 years. So I had a babysitter attempt to kill me at 9 months, and I ended up in the hospital for a long time because of that. And then 2 years old, like that, another thing happened. And so emotional attachment was more of like a detachment was my protective space, right? It was like, okay. And the thing about it, like with somebody getting, hurt at 9 months and then having to self-soothe in a way, because it's not like somebody could be there for me at that moment, right? I have a lack of emotional attaching, like that bonding moment that I should have been having. I didn't get to have that.
Okay. All right.
So it affected me in my relationships because, like, I had an ex one time. He was like, "I go to touch you and you flinch," and I didn't realize I was flinching every time he would go to touch me.
Wow.
It was just a subconscious thing.
And you said you had therapy. You went through therapy for that.
Well, I went through a lot of things for that, but yes, yeah.
So now, do you feel like you overcame that?
Yeah, for sure. Just to even talk about it and not like get overly emotional or start to cry, like that's big for me because like for a minute I didn't even cry. Like I was that emotionally detached. Like I wasn't a crier. I didn't know like how to even be tapped into those type of feelings.
All right, and next question for Grace. You said that growing up you were mean to people. You were very mean to people. Where did that come from? Because I'm taking you guys' stories and I'm placing them with people in my mind, right? And it's like,
well, it wasn't that I was mean, but I was very direct, very blunt, and didn't care about my delivery. I was abrasive, and that I guess that I'm from New York. I'm half Sicilian, half Dominican. We're always in survival status. And my dad, he was very blunt. He didn't care. He will speak to me in a way where he's not going to sugarcoat it. So I took on that trait. And my dad was a very demanding man. If I came home with A's, it would be, well, why didn't you get A pluses? Dad, I lost 20 pounds. Well, that's like taking a cup out of the Pacific Ocean. You see, it was never good enough, so it caused me to take on those traits and be mean to others. And when I realized, like I said, I realized that on my own, people telling me, and when I saw people's reaction, when I would say, I mean, it was bad. I would say things that wasn't necessary and hit below the belt. And that was my way of deflecting, my defense mechanism. And thank God I caught it and I fixed it.
Interesting. I asked that question because I'm thinking about a person that I know, and it almost seems like that saying that hurt people hurt people. That there's some kind of deep-seated pain there, and certain people like enjoy transferring that pain and inflicting it on other people. And like, I want to watch you squirm too, just like I squirm. What I'm saying?
And you're right. Some people are like that. I want to make you feel what I'm feeling, and it's called displaced anger or displaced hurt. You're placing the hurt to the wrong person. You have to address the person that hurt you. And that's where therapy comes in. It'll teach you how to address it. And sometimes you don't have to address the person. You just have to address the issue. And when you learn how to unpack it, then you start the healing process.
No further questions.
Hey guys, everybody listen.
I feel like I'm in court.
This is beautiful because it gives us perspective. Like when you look at people, you think you know them. You don't know nothing about people until they tell you about their story. So I'm really glad you hear that you overcame that, Jamie. I think people underestimate the power of trauma. I think that people say the words and they don't understand that trauma, you don't forget that. You just learn how to cope with the trauma. And it's a thing that if you don't take seriously, it will show up in other areas of your life that you least expect it to. So shout out to you, Jamie. Shout out to you, Embrace, and to Sir Charles for overcoming the things we've overcome to be where we are today. Much love and respect to you. And to the chat, to some of you guys who have dealt with trauma as well, and you've done the work, so you're not projecting your hurt onto others. Salute to you for the work that you're doing. With that being said, we're going to transition to our very last topic tonight. I want to watch a video. You guys have all heard and seen about the Diddy and Cassie thing, right? You guys have all heard about that for the most part. I want to play this video, and then I'm going to ask you all a question. Give me 2 seconds. Let me play this video. It's him apologizing. Let's watch this, and I'm going to come back. Just a minute.
I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
So you guys saw that something horrible happened. He did something terrible. You guys saw the video. It was violent. There's no way to fix that. There's no like that clip by itself. There's no way you can't say she swung. You can't say she came out and she was aggressive. There's no way to defend that. So here's the question that I'm going to ask everybody. What do you do when I'm sorry is no longer enough? In this situation, he does something, he apologizes, it's a relationship. What do you do when I'm sorry, you're all sorried out? What do you do?
I just want to understand your question. Are you saying from a marital perspective where the sorries have been exhausted?
Or even in a relationship, yeah. Like he apologized. I've seen cases like this where people do this and they really feel remorse where they give this great apology, but it's gone so far. So is this apology a signal that they've changed because they've seen the error of their ways? Like, what do you do in a scenario like this?
I give the ladies an opportunity. I mean, I'm ready to jump on it, but yeah.
I mean, I can go first. When you say, what do you do when I'm sorry is no longer enough? In this instance, if we're using this example, that I'm sorry is not genuine. If that person had the opportunity to apologize way before this video came out. Instead, they chose to say that never happened, right? And so this sorry is only a sorry because he now has public evidence out there and he's being weighed in the course of his peers, right? In the course of the public court. And that's worse than going to court, really, is because now he's going to lose everything. He has lost trust, he has lost honor, he has lost dignity, he has lost respect. You cannot come back from this, because in the beginning, when you had all the opportunity in the world, actually, when Cassie did this stuff 6 months ago, we knew nothing about it, and he started to do the nice stuff, like give people back their recording stuff, all of that type of stuff. He had the opportunity then to say, I am this person and I'm terrible and I'm gonna get help, but he didn't. He did not. So when I would say when sorry is no longer enough is when somebody has the opportunity to do the right thing over and over again, and then they choose to not say sorry until other people know that they are not a good person. Then the sorry is not enough. It's not enough. It's not genuine. I don't, because you are more concerned about how people view you than what you were doing to me behind closed doors, and how I viewed you and how you treated me, and that's terrible. And so
everybody, let's let that breathe.
You leave because it's not genuine.
That was solid. That's a solid response. Okay. All right. Anybody want to go next? What do you do when I'm sorry is no longer enough?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Grace.
First of all, I know this sounds cliche, but the best apology is change behavior. And speaking of the P. Diddy thing, first of all, he's apologizing to the wrong person or thing. He's only apologizing because he got caught, and that's just damage control that he's doing. He's not sincere. He's not really sorry. He's just doing it as a publicity stunt because he's gotten caught. And he's been doing it, and he's still doing it. So how sorry are you really? And he should have been apologizing to Cassie, not on social media. You're apologizing to the wrong person. And as far as how much enough is enough, I mean, if a person keeps doing the same thing over and over and over, and you're getting the same results, they're insane. So they're not really remorseful. If you don't change nothing, nothing will change. Simple as that. So when you have given a person, especially in a marriage and in a long-term marriage and there are kids involved, and you've given your spouse 1, 2, 3, 4 chances of grace, and they're still not embracing it. You like that, huh? You like that plug? And you're still not embracing it. I mean, there comes a time for your peace and self-integrity that you have to walk away. I mean, there comes a time, I call it the point of no return, where you just cannot get past it. I mean, how many apologies are you supposed to take before you really change?
Absolutely. Excellent. Sir Charles? Charlie Heights?
Yeah. So what do you do when I'm sorry is no longer enough? First and foremost, hopefully you've presented so much value in a relationship to whereas what I'm about to say will actually matter. But what I'm saying is that you have to remove yourself. That there's no, I mean, because like Grace said, and she took the words right out of my mouth. The best apology is change behavior. And you keep saying, I'm sorry, but you keep doing the same things. I mean, you're not sorry. You're just trying to buy time for the next event. Listen, I am, and you know, I know you're not specifically talking about the Diddy situation, but you know, men who do women like that, physically abuse them like that, that is a mental illness. To whereas, I mean, you don't know your own strength. Now, I'm all for, this may be cringy, but I'm all for using minimal necessary force, right? You're not going to whoop my butt, but I ain't going to whoop yours either. So minimum necessary force depending on your...
In terms of defending himself if he's being attacked.
Yes. And I'm saying I am going to use minimal necessary force to let you know that you're not going to whoop me. You're not. I've never hit a woman because I've never had to, because I just feel like I'd kill a woman if I just feel like that ain't so. But I'm saying I had a fight with a stripper in St. Louis, but that hey,
everybody this show just took a turn.
Hey, but no, the stripper accosted me first. Okay, and I got witnesses. I used minimum. I grabbed her. I held her down. I'm just saying that's one example. But you're not gonna whoop me. But I'm not just gonna dog walk you because I can. That's just crazy. So that's a sickness, and I see these men do this, and no, these men need to be punished, and these women hopefully they could position themselves to walk away. But I think removing your presence, as long as you added enough value where your presence would be missed, then that's enough right there. Just removing yourself from that situation. Person keep apologizing and never changing. Somebody gonna mention that. Somebody gonna clip that. Me fighting a stripper in St. Louis.
Yeah, I got it. I've already got it saved.
You have clothes on or clothes off?
I want to tell my story one day. I want to tell my story.
The reason I asked this is because whether we know this or not, people wrestle with this. They don't know what their limits are. They don't know what their boundaries are. And as a result, things keep happening and they just keep on prolonging the inevitable. So I got this last question. This is a bonus question. Can it ever be sincere? Can an apology ever be sincere when it is based on the fact that you've been caught? Can it ever be sincere in that circumstance? What's your thought on that? I got you.
I think so. I believe so. I believe it can. If that's not true, if that's not just, then the Bible is fake too, right? Because we get caught with our sins all the time, and God still chooses to forgive us. So, like, if I'm going based on moral grounds, yeah, like I've been caught, and then, but my apology came with true change, right? True repentance, to turn away from what I was going to do. So again, it still is based on what it says. Charlie Heights, Sir Charles, and Embrace the Grace said about change behavior, so like you have to put the action behind it for sure. But yeah, that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair to say that it's not. But Diddy, he not starred.
Okay, that's a caveat. Okay.
And I mean, here's my thing. Okay, you can commit some atrocities, multiple, right? And then when you get caught, you repent and totally do a 180. Sometimes getting caught is the catalyst to healing, to getting right, because like I know people who have cheated, and then when they got caught, they felt so terrible about how they made their significant other feel. But as long as they was running the play and everything seemed normal at the crib, they were just gonna keep running the play. You know what I'm saying? But that hurt in their significant other, their spouse's face, caused something. It caused them to feel something, and they repented. And I know people faithful now. Nope, I ain't doing that no more. So I totally believe you can be sorry, but again, back to this Diddy thing. No, that's just he's just
catch a break.
Yeah, right. he's just trying to clean up his image, man. But yeah, no, I believe an apology can happen after getting caught, a sincere apology. But now, what I'm saying is though, it may not be accepted by the person you offended. Okay, it may not be accepted, but that still doesn't make the apology any less authentic, if that makes sense, in my opinion.
Makes it so. Just for clarity's sake, what you're saying is true, except for Diddy. I want to make sure that's the good point. Okay.
The likes.
Gotcha. Okay, Embrace. What about you?
Absolutely. An apology can be sincere, but you must have remorse. You must be genuine, and you must rectify and change the behavior in order for it to be a sincere apology. But if you just say any old kind of apology and you still keep doing the same thing and be nonchalant and uncaring about it, then no, it's not sincere. It's that person's responsibility to show remorse, to rectify the problem, and make that other person feel secure that they understood that they got hurt and will not go back down that road again. You have to be mindful and intentional with an apology. If not, then you might as well just not apologize, because then it's a insult. It's insult to insult to injury. That's what I'm trying. Because now, not only did you do the crime, but now you're not even sorry about it or trying to fix it. And that's what's sometimes is how you fix it is better than the actual hurt. How you fix it is better sometimes to rectify it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Guys, I'll say this, and then I think we're going to wrap up and give everybody a final thought. People get tired of hearing I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a repeat offender, listen, you're going to make people lose respect for you because you're always sorry and you're not doing what it takes to change it. This is a marriage, this is a friendship, this is business, this is life. You can't just keep on I am sorrying people to death. If you really want people to believe you, you got to start making a change. And you can't wait on something to force you to change. You've got to be proactive about it. That's if you want to build trust after doing damage, that's the only way that it will work for somebody who respects himself. That is right. So, good, guys. So let's get everybody final thoughts, and we're going to wrap up. Embrace. It has been a joy to have you on again. Always, Jamie. It's been great to have you on for the first time. And Sir Charles, you know what time it is. So let's give everybody final thoughts. Embrace. What are your final thoughts, and then let people know how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. I just want to thank you again for reaching out and allowing me to be on the panel. Anytime I'm available, I'm here for you, Sir Charles, because I support everything you're trying to do, spread, and teach. And with that being said,
wait a minute. So
she said it right. She said it right.
She said, I'll thank you, sir, for letting me on. But Sir Charles, I'm on here and I'll support you in whatever you do. Everybody, listen, it's been good having Embrace on this show tonight. We appreciate her contributions to the show tonight. Let's let Embrace go again. Sir Charles, you took some of my thunder, but it's okay. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna do it second time. Embrace, it's on you.
Okay. Great conversation tonight. It's necessary to allow people to have a safe space to communicate. It's necessary that when you apologize, that you're genuine about it. And we're not all perfect. We will make mistakes, but it's how we rectify those mistakes that matter. So with that being said, again, my name is Embrace the Grace. I have my own channel. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and WhatsApp. I do my live show every Thursday night at 8 p.m., but I am all over this YouTube channel on other panels, Black Man Unfiltered, JVJ, and whenever Sir Hale summons me. So with that being said, thank you again.
Hey, I appreciate you, Rick. Thank you so much. I told you, you give me any little thing I'm gonna use. Thank you so much. It's always a joy to have you. I really appreciate your perspective. Everybody who's on the Sir Hale Speaks Network, please be sure to subscribe to Embrace the Grace moderators. Please drop her link in the chat. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Good to see you, the Intentional Quiet Storm. Glad you're here. Jamie, your first time here. What were your thoughts on the show? What's your final thoughts? And please let us know how we can connect with you.
I actually enjoyed it. It was a good conversation, and it was ability to be very transparent. My final thoughts are, I know in communities, but especially in our community, having that vulnerability or that ability to say what's on our mind and be comfortable with rejection, or as Lost and Trenchless said in the chat, abandonment is hard because we are not used to being able to say what we say and be accepted or feel accepted. And I would hope that with all these panels and these shows, but especially with Mr. Sir Hale Speaks show, that people can get comfortable and get the new training to be better communicators, as Sir Charles had said. And so you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Jamie Radiance Moorhead 7, because I'm your favorite Christian life coach. And that's it.
Hey, excellent. Hey, appreciate you being on. Thanks so much for being here. An absolute stellar job tonight. Really appreciate you. The one of the only Sir Charlie Heights is in the building. Of course, what's your final thoughts? What do you want to leave with the people, and how can we connect with you as well?
First and foremost, thank you, Sir Hale, for having me on once again. As always, great conversation. I love hearing the different perspectives and being able to express my thoughts. Hey, man, we all make mistakes. We all make bad decisions at times. And so we all need to be afforded some level of grace, as we need to afford grace to others. I do understand that sometimes relationships get so toxic to where, man, it just sticking it out just ain't the best option. I get it. But I just encourage everyone to try everything before you call it quits in a relationship. And, sometimes we make things bigger than what they need to be at the time because our emotions are involved. I'm going to pose a question sometime soon on Instagram. This, I think, is going to be real triggering, but along the same topic. But anyhow, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm all over the place sometimes. And I'll be here on the Sir Hale show as many times as he wants me on. And again, thank you guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the chat. Enjoy the conversation.
Excellent. To everybody who's joined, everybody show some love to our wonderful guest, Charlie Heights. It's me, Jamie, and the one and the only Embrace the Grace. Y'all show some love in the chat. Shout out to our channel members. Shout out to our mod squad. It's good to see you, and to all of our subscribers. And as the Quiet Storm would say, to all of our people watching from the clouds, we appreciate you guys. Have a great night. We'll talk with you again soon. Have a good night, everybody. We'll talk with you later.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Let me play some music to get us up out of here. Hang on one second. May I have your attention? May I please have your attention? Super Sundays. Yeah, baby. We're back at it again. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sir Hale Speaks Super Sundays. I'm glad that you're here. I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys how much I appreciate you We've been doing these shows for months now, and you guys have been showing up consistently as we take on and we tackle different challenges and different topics. So I appreciate it. But here's what we're trying to do going forward. We want to grow this audience to people who need to hear content like this. And so we need your help. How can you help us? That's a fantastic question. Be sure to make sure you hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell for all of the content that we have, particularly Super Sundays. All right, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure you invite somebody to Sir Hill Speaks Super Sundays. We're getting ready to go in. We're going to have a good time. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get to the show.